You don't need to arrive anywhere tonight. There is nothing you need to become, fix, or understand. You've already been moving through so much, thinking, responding, adjusting, holding yourself together in ways no one else can see. Even when things look calm on the outside, there is often an invisible momentum inside, a subtle pressure to stay alert, to stay ready, to keep up with life as it moves. For a moment now, you're allowed to stop reaching, not stopping life, not stepping away from responsibility, just stopping the inner, reaching the quiet tension that says you should be somewhere else by now, or someone different by this point. This is not a practice. It's not a method. It's not something you have to do correctly. It's simply a pause where nothing is expected of you. If you notice your body still holding on, shoulders slightly lifted, jaw gently tight, breath not quite settled, that's okay. You don't need to correct it. You don't need to soften it. Just noticing is enough. There is a kind of return that doesn't involve effort. A return that happens when you stop trying to return at all. And that quiet recognition that nothing is required of you in this moment is where we begin. Most people don't realize how much they carry until they stop moving for a moment. The weight isn't always dramatic. It doesn't always come from pain, loss, or conflict. Sometimes it comes from being emotionally available for too long, from managing expectations, from staying composed while things quietly ask more of you than you expected. You may notice a subtle heaviness, not something that needs explanation, just a sense of having been on for a while. Let that be here. This descent is not about sinking into something heavy. It's about allowing yourself to come down out of constant readiness, like lowering your shoulders after holding them up all day, like exhaling without realizing you were holding your breath. Nothing needs to be released all at once. Nothing needs to be sorted or named. If thoughts drift in, let them pass without following. If emotion surfaces, let it rest without interpretation. You are not going deeper to uncover something. You are going softer to allow something to settle. There is a part of you that already knows how to do this, not because it was taught, but because it remembers. And remembering doesn't require effort. You don't need to visualize anything special. There's no image you need to hold in place. Simply allow awareness to rest somewhere inside, perhaps in the center of the chest, or wherever you naturally feel the most grounded right now. Notice how awareness doesn't push. It doesn't try to fix. It doesn't demand anything. It rests. Most people do not consciously perceive the subtle energy field, but everyone can feel its effects. That gentle sense of coherence, that quiet settling that doesn't announce itself loudly. Nothing is being activated. Nothing is being adjusted. You are not creating stillness. You are noticing what remains when you stop leaving yourself. If the breath changes, let it. If it doesn't, that's fine too. You don't need to guide it. The body already knows how to regulate itself when it feels safe. This inner realm isn't a place you travel to. It's what becomes noticeable when attention stops scattering outward, and you are allowed to stay here without effort for as long as you need. There is a quiet intelligence in rest, not the kind that plans or analyzes, but the kind that knows when enough is enough. You don't need to earn rest by being exhausted. You don't need to justify it with productivity, usefulness, or achievement. Rest is not the absence of strength. It is strength remembering itself. As awareness softens, you may notice space opening, not outward, but inward. A sense that you don't need to brace against the moment, that you can be exactly as you are without adjusting yourself to fit. This expansion isn't about becoming larger. It's about becoming less compressed, less folded inward, less held tight. You are allowed to take up exactly as much space as feels natural, no more, no less. And if something within you relaxes even slightly, a breath, a muscle, a thought that is already enough, nothing more is required. The shift doesn't announce itself. There's no moment where you suddenly feel transformed, no dramatic before and after. Instead, there's a quiet recognition that you are already here, already present, already enough. This is the Lumen shift. Not illumination that overwhelms, but illumination that reassures. A gentle sense that something within you is steady, even if life around you continues to move. You don't need to hold on to this feeling. It's not fragile. It knows how to remain without being protected or maintained. And you don't need to understand it for it to work. Sometimes the most meaningful shifts are the ones that don't demand attention, the ones that simply change how it feels to be here. This quiet doesn't belong only here. It doesn't disappear when the video ends. It doesn't vanish when the day resumes. It simply blends. You may still have responsibilities. You may still feel emotions. Life doesn't pause, but something inside no longer needs to rush. You can let this softness move with you into ordinary moments, into conversation, into rest, into movement. And if you forget it, that's okay too. Returning is never a failure. It's part of the rhythm. There is no expectation that you stay calm or centered, only that you know how to come back when you need to. There's nothing you need to do before we close. No intention to set. No takeaway to remember. Just notice how it feels to be here now, even if that feeling is subtle or quiet. Stillness doesn't ask you to stay forever. It only asks that you know how to return. And you do. Whenever you're ready, you can let your attention widen again. Carry this quiet with you, or leave it here, knowing it's always available. You're not behind. You're not late. You've simply returned quietly. If this space felt supportive, you're welcome to return anytime. And until then, be gentle with yourself.